I don't know how much of that you guys heard, so I'll just go ahead and start over. So we are going to be talking about creating a vision for the year. And normally I call them dream boards, but I decided that it's probably better to start calling them vision boards because dreams are just, stuff you put on a paper, but a vision is what you actually want. And I'm reading the best book in the entire universe. And so after I talk to you guys about a few things, I'm just going to literally read. Oh, cat, I'm going to kill you. Sorry. He only likes to scratch stuff when I'm on trainings. But so I'm going to read you a page or two of it, and you can't get the words better out like I was trying to summarize it, except for from him that wrote the book. So first I'm going to start with something I was thinking about it a lot, and so I was like, this is perfect. So I'm going to tell you guys, I guess, a story, and I want you to think about it. So there is a girl named Amy. I'm just using a hypothetical. This is not a real Amy. And she is going on a trip, and she invites you to go on this trip with her, okay? So she invites you to go on this trip with her, and you say, okay, well, where are we going? And she says, well, I'm not actually sure where we're going. And you're like, okay. And then she is frustrated that you asked where she's even, going to take you, okay? And you ask her more questions. So you're like, okay, well, do you have a map? Do you know how to get there? And she says, maybe, like, I could probably find a map. I'm not sure. And she says, okay, well, that's probably not good. And then, you ask her more questions. You say, okay, well, what are we going to do when we get there? And she's like, I don't know. She asks you, are we going to have fun? You're like, maybe not. My kids are kind of frustrating me right now, so I don't really know if I'm going to have a good time. I kind of base things upon my mood, sometimes good, sometimes bad. And you're like, okay, do you guys want to probably take that trip with her? Probably not. She doesn't have a map. She doesn't know how to get there. She doesn't sound excited. She's not sure of getting there at all. Okay. And then another girl, we'll just use the same girl. Okay. Amy asks you to go on a trip. Okay. And you say, do you have a map? And she says, yes, I have a map. Have you ever been there before? No, I haven't been there before, but I'm really excited about it. And I am confident that we can figure out where to go and what to do when we get there. You're like, oh, okay, like that sounds fun. And she's excited, and she's like, you know what? Like, this is going to be so much fun. Like, maybe we'll get a little lost on the way there, but I have the map, and I'm excited, and I'm confident that we can make sure that we get there. So, what do you say? And you're like, okay, let's do that. And, I was thinking about this earlier, and that's literally what it is when we're talking to people. So if you are talking with confidence, and if you are talking with surety and excitement of where you're going, you can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Maybe it's just you, Ashley. Oh. How much of that did you guys miss? Just a little? Okay. So if you guys know where you're going, which is the vision that you're having, the vision that you're creating for this year, people are going to want to jump on board with you. When you put it out there and say, this is what I'm making this year, this is what I'm doing, I'm sure of it, these are the people I'm going to be helping. I'm going to be helping, 5 people get to diamond, whatever it is. Those are the types of things people are like, I have no idea how to do what you're doing, but I'm confident that you are confident and you're going to teach me. And that is honestly why I feel like I sign a lot of distributors. It's because I'm confident. I say, this is where I'm going, period, end of story. Like, I know I'm going to get there. When you are sure, people want to be a part of something bigger, and they will trust you. and you know, they'll enjoy it with you, but you have to be that excited person that knows where they're going. You cannot be the first Amy that is like, I'm just posting stuff on Facebook every day about joining my team, joining my team, joining my team. I'm not talking about what my goals are. I'm not talking about helping anybody. I'm not talking about, you know, the vision that I have for myself and my team. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just kind of being like, hey, want to join my business? No, people are not going to want to be a part of that. They don't want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of something that they're confident, you are confident, and that helps them understand and know that you're going to teach them. So when I was doing this in my head, it came out way better, but you guys get the gist. If you know, think about it, that's what our business is. There's two different people in this business. And if you look at what people do and say that are the first Amy, you'll see they're not getting anywhere. Cat, I swear. You'll see that they're not getting anywhere. And you'll see the second person, who is the Amy, where you're just like, you are new or you are not new. It doesn't even matter. It's that ignorance on fire. They're like, I'm going here, period, end of story. Come with me. I'm confident that you can do it. I'm confident that I can do it. Let's go. That's what you have to be. That's what you have to make sure you are doing this year. If you want to hit those goals, you have to be doing that this year. And you will gain that confidence when you know where you're going, which is what your vision board is, which is your organization, meaning like literally like I can't work when I'm unorganized because it's like a domino effect. If I don't write down my potentials names, then the next thing I know, I'm not following up. Then the next thing I know, I'm not doing this. It's a domino effect. So you have to know where you're going and have to be organized with it. Do you guys ever think there would be, you know, a millionaire that's not organized? Probably not, right? Okay, so, and I always say too, if Amy wouldn't have asked you to go on that trip, would you have known she was going? No. I know that sometimes we post a ton about the business, we post a ton about the product, and we think that Amy is just gonna, or, you know, that you are just going to sign up with Amy, but you really don't even know what Amy's doing. And I was thinking about this when I wrote it down. So Eliana, I'm gonna call her out. So she had a New Year's Eve party last year and the year before, okay? There was probably 50 plus people there. She dropped a gift off at my house probably like the 28th or 29th, which is just a few days before New Year's Eve. And I was like, hey, are you having a New Year's Eve party? And she said, yeah, of course. I'm like, you didn't say anything though. You didn't tell me. She's like, yeah, but it's like a tradition now. Like, it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to have one. I'm like, but if you don't tell people, they're not going to know. So, and that is the domino effect. If you guys just assume that people know what you're doing, or you assume that when they're ready, they're going to come back to you and you don't have to follow up with them, that's not true. It doesn't matter if it's a New Year's Eve party or your next distributor that you're going to sign. You have to tell them. You have to ask them. You have to say, hey, listen, I am literally like, I'm serious about this. I'm not going to stop until you sign up. Let's do it. Because that's what I have to do with all my distributors. I am like, I'm not going anywhere. Are you? Because I'm not. And when they still respond back to you, that's a good sign. So sorry, Eliana, but it was just like the perfect example. It's like we assume that people are just like seeing everything, but they're not. Okay, so Ashley is going to talk to you guys a little bit about like vision boards and things like that. And then after that, I'm going to read the stuff that I was talking about. And it is just the best. Like it's amazing. Okay, so let's see here. Let me mute myself.
What's the name of the book again, Christy? Sorry.
It is called, Think Like a Billionaire, Become a Billionaire.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Hi guys. So Christy wanted me to share a little bit about vision boards and like staying organized for the new year. I'm huge on vision boards. I know right when I joined with Christy, she had talked about, like at the time it was dream boards, but now it's vision boards. She had talked about, like these vision boards and the importance of making them and making sure like where you want to go and what you want to achieve. I think that's super, super important. She was talking about reading books and stuff, and that is actually on my vision board is reading, a personal development book a month, at least one. So one that I've read and that I'm currently reading, The Magic of Thinking Big. It's super, super good, but one of the little chapters in it just talks about specifically goals and having goals and the importance of having goals. And I love that because that's huge with our business. And I think just in general, just life in general. But it was just talking about a goal is more than a dream. It's a dream being acted upon. A goal is more than just a hazy, oh, I wish I could. It's a clear, this is what I'm working towards. And I love that. And that's actually perfect that you kind of changed it up from dream to vision board, because he's saying it's different from just being a dream is maybe it's not necessarily unattainable, but it's something that you're like, oh, I wish I could have this, but maybe you don't necessarily act on it. And having those goals they're very important, because then you act on it, and then that action is going to create opportunities for you to obtain those goals. So I love that. And so everyone, really, honestly, you should just have a vision board. I have 2 of them. I have one in my bedroom and then one in my bathroom, so I can just like constantly see them and see like where I'm wanting to go and what kinds of things I want to work towards. So those are super, super important. Another little tip about those, try and be as specific as possible, because just having like vague things are good. Like if you just have vacations up there, that's great. But like, is there like a place you really, really would love to go to? Or is there like, would you love to take your kids to Disneyland? That would be just your thing that you want to do for 2018. Put like Disneyland on there, not just family vacation. So you can really close your eyes and visualize you and your kids at Disneyland, and then make it so, so real. And then your brain just has to figure out a way. Okay, I have to freaking take my family to Disneyland. So I can see it in my mind. Now I just need to make it happen. So having specific goals is really, really key for that. I also have a whiteboard as well in our bedroom. And I used to have like charts and stuff like that up there, and I actually switched it to having weekly and monthly goals. And those are also specific as well, instead of just having general goals, because it's different than the vision board. These are goals that, like a certain number of customers and distributors that I want per week and per month. And those are, like I said, they're super simple. It's not really overcomplicated. It's just very specific though. So I can say like, okay, I want 3 distributors, or I want, 3 customers this week. And then I know, okay, that's super simple, but then I just have to try and make that happen. So that is really, really nice. You don't have to have a whiteboard. You can just do like a sticky note on your mirror, whatever, write it on your mirror. It doesn't matter. But that's what I have. And then staying organized too. I actually really love this because I do like to be organized. That's just kind of my personality. But I actually stole a couple of these ideas from 2 wonderful leaders on our team, Eliana and Jamie. So Eliana made these really, really awesome sheets, that she had potential loyal customers and potential distributors. And it's just like literally a chart that says like their name, their Instagram or Facebook, their phone number, and then like notes and stuff like that.
And I think they're in the files in the team page.
So yeah, that's exactly where I go. Yep. And then she also made like a checklist as well for doing like daily tasks and stuff like that. So you're actually working your business throughout the day. And that was a weekly checklist as well. Like obviously you can check off each thing that you do daily. But it's for the whole week. And I really, really like that. It keeps you really, really organized, and it's super simple. I just printed them off, and then you can keep them until they're full and then just fold it up. And I actually also have a notebook too. And I can just fold them up and put them right in my notebook, and so they don't get lost or anything. But I love that because it keeps it organized. You have lists, and they're separated too for your loyal customers and your distributors. And then I also, the thing that I stole from Jamie is writing down like months on a page, and then you can write down all of your, I don't know if I forgot if she did like all the people that she talked to. That's what I do, but I don't know if she was just doing just potentials. But I write down all the people that I talk to so that I don't forget people, because that happens a lot. I'll try and scroll through and I like forget like that I talked to them, or they just get lost in messages and things. So I try and do it. You don't have to do it every day. You can do it like every other day or once a week or something like that. Don't make it too complicated, but I write down all the people that I had conversations with and I talked to, and then like whether it was on Facebook or Instagram. And then I also, if they were like a potential distributor or a potential little customer, I'll put them down on that list that I printed off, but I also write it on here as well. So that's really, really, really helpful when you're talking to lots and lots of people, because that's really honestly what we're supposed to be doing, is talking to people. So this just keeps it really organized so that you know where everything is and who everyone is. So that's just like, as far as staying organized, those are some of my tips. And I stole them, like I said, I stole them from Eliana and from Jamie. They're leaders for a reason, and they did all the hard work for us. We can just easily duplicate it, and it's super simple, and that's what I love. So I love that they have kind of paved the way for us so that it's just really easy. It's not complicated either. It's really, really simple, and it doesn't take a lot of time either. So that's my little tips on that, on staying organized.
Thank you. And if you have anything to add to while I'm talking or after I'm talking,
yeah,
feel free to just unmute yourself. Okay, so you guys, just kind of what she was saying too, if you guys ever have any tips or any ways that you like to organize, or something that you feel like is working, or messages or whatever, or when you sign a customer or distributor, feel free to share that conversation or that tip or whatever, blitzing tip, whatever. Feel free to share that in the team page, because it's not my team page, it's all of ours. And so I want you guys to know like that you can also, do those things the same way I do it and the same way that other people do it. Okay. So with that being said, what she was saying too, so I learn from stories. That's how I get inspired. When I go to events, it's the stories, because guess what? All of you guys have all the tools to either find out how to sign customers and distributors, or you already know how to sign customers and distributors, right? So how many of you guys have signed either one customer or one distributor? Okay, so like most people have, unless you're new or whatever it is. But you know how. The rest of you guys, you probably learned how. You're just still working on people, right? So the reason I say that is because this business isn't necessarily about how to, it's about why. Because we can all find out how, we can all do, there's so many stories of now top leaders in the company that weren't even on a team page. because the person that signed them up was like, peace out. And they went on YouTube and they typed in how to sign distributors, how to sign customers, it works, whatever. And they learned and they did it. They didn't even have any type of community or anything, okay? And they still made it happen. Why is that? Okay? It's because they decided that they wanted it and they were going to do it no matter what. And that is why you have to have the vision of your goals. If you don't have that, then guess what? When, you know, all your girlfriends are going out, you're just going to be like, I'm just going to cancel my wrap party. That's fine. Or, you know, when your kids are losing their shiz all day, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm not going to work today because I am not in a good mood. I'm not happy, right? Or, you know, when you're waking up and you're like, I'm really tired today. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to message any new people. I'm just going to throw a post up there and hope somebody comes to me. Okay? That's what happens when you don't have a vision of where you're going. You don't have any discipline for it. I know what my number goal is, what my physical goal is, what my financial goal is, what my spiritual goal is. I know what all those are specifically. So the days that I'm like, my kids are losing it and I'm going to freaking kill someone, I'm like, but guess what? I got to go lock myself in the bathroom and I got to go message these people or follow up with these people or write a meaningful post because tomorrow I'm going to regret what I didn't do today. That's just what it is. You have to be disciplined for it. So the first year in my business, at the end of the year, I had hit diamond and people said, make a dream board or vision board, whatever. They're the same thing, but I just like the wording better, just like kind of what Ashley was saying from the book. So they said, make a vision board, make a vision board. I'm like, why do I need a freaking poster up with a bunch of stuff that I want? Like, first of all, that just makes me sound like I just want a lot of stuff. And second of all, like, what is that really going to do? You know, like either I'm going to do good at the business or I'm not. But as you guys have heard me say a lot, when people are in a spot where you want to be at, you listen to what they're doing, right? So it might have taken a little while, but eventually I was like, all right, fine, I'll freaking do it. So I made my first vision board. And at this time, Aaron and I were in Utah, living in a 600 square foot apartment, okay? And we were back here for the summers during the school year. And I remember I was making my first vision board, and I was like, what should I put on there? And I don't know what I want, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Like, we need a house. Like, we should buy a house. So we Googled together, Aaron and I, and include your husband or your kids or whatever in these goals, okay? Because they're going to have a vision for what you guys are creating together. And that's what helps on those days where I'm like, babe, every Monday night at 7, you're going to, like, he takes the kids from 7 to 8 and watches them, which is like usually their breakdown time, you know, like they lose it, like they have to get over that hump of like tiredness, right? But he does it because he knows what I'm working for both of us, you know? So we're both working, he's just doing a different part of this. So anyways, so we Googled Las Vegas homes because obviously Las Vegas homes are way different than anywhere else. So, you know, make things realistic too. So we Googled like Las Vegas homes and we were just scrolling through pictures and we're like, oh, we really like that one. Like that one's friggin' awesome. So we printed it out. We put it on our vision board. We had a vision for like the income number that I wanted to make. We had, I think we had like second baby on there and some different things like that. And we put it up. And then when we were moving back and forth from Utah, I had like put it away and I didn't bring it to Utah for one of the times, whatever. Well, I promoted that year, and it's funny because it wasn't even up in the place that I was living, but we went and we came home, and my sister was actually going to buy this house. So for almost a year, actually, she tried to buy this house that I'm living in right now, but it was a short sale and it was taking forever. It was literally taking forever. And my sister and her husband, they didn't want to wait. They were like, you know what? Like, we don't even know when this is going to happen. We don't want to wait. So what they did was they actually found another house. And at the time, my sister's a real estate agent. So she was showing us houses because we were ready to buy a house. So we were ready to buy a house, and we were looking at these houses, and there was like, we were looking at houses probably 1,000 square feet smaller than what we're in now, because we're like, that's probably all we can afford, because we wanted to put 20% down, whatever. So we were driving around, and my sister gets a call from her broker and the agent on this house, and they say, hey, we just got word back from the bank. They're ready to close on the house, yada, yada. And my sister's like, are you freaking kidding me? We literally just put an offer in on a different house and got it accepted. So she was choosing a different house. And my sister said, what about you guys? Why don't you guys try to buy this house? And we're like, that's pretty much out of our budget. I think I had maybe just hit triple. So we had like just started making like really, really, really good money. Because triple's about $10,000 a month. So I was like, we can't afford that. They're not going to approve us for that on a loan. And she's like, let's just call and see. So she called, and the broker said, yeah, I can make it happen for them. So we came and we looked at the house, and we're like, holy crap. Like, we love this house. It's amazing. It had all white carpet in the bottom or in the, downstairs. And Aaron was like, I'm going to redo this. Like, it's going to be amazing, yada, yada. And we're like, this is freaking awesome. Like, this is so much bigger. It was in a much better neighborhood. Okay. Much better neighborhood than what we were going to. So I know I'm talking a lot, but the house that we were trying to buy, that we were super disappointed when it already had an offer on it, it was in a not super good area now. Like, it wasn't that far from us, but it was just the neighborhood wasn't really good. And we like see SWAT in there all the time. So everything happens for a reason. But anyways, so when we were moving, we were packing up our stuff, and I saw this vision board, and I was like, oh, cool, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at it, and literally the exact house that we are living in now is that exact printout that I made a year and a half before. Okay. And I'm not saying like similar builder. It was literally, we are living in that exact printed house. Like, even the door is on the right side, the same, everything is the same. And it was just so crazy. And I was like, light bulb, like this is real. Like, this is freaking amazing. And ever since then, obviously, every single year I make a vision board, and every single year we mark stuff off. Obviously, we have like some bigger goals, like stuff that doesn't just take a year, but every single year we mark everything off that can be done that year. And it's amazing, you guys. And every single day when, if there's a day where I'm not feeling motivated, I'm still disciplined, because I know what's on that board. And I know that as long as I'm disciplined and as long as I know where I'm going, I'm going to hit everything on there. And how amazing is that? How amazing if you can go and print out a house off the internet right now and know that in the next year, that house can be yours just by working your business every day. And some of you guys might be like, oh, working my business every day, that's a lot. You guys, like, how fast did this last year go by? It went by really fast, right? I feel like it flew by. I feel like I didn't even blink, and we're already in 2018. Your year is going to go by. It is going to go by. And at the end of 2018 of this year, you can be like, holy crap, I accomplished a lot. Or you'll be like, holy crap, I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't make any progress at all in any aspects of my life. And I'm not just talking about like physical things, you guys, but it works for everything. So I just want to tell you guys that, because I have a huge, huge testimony of vision boards and writing your goals down. And for me, I like to write my income number on the mirror. And, you know, some people might think like, oh, well, you sound like you just only care about money, but that's not true. For me, I know that if I hit that income number, the rest of my goals kind of encompass it, right? So like we want an investment home, making that money will help us get there. If we want to give back more, making that money is going to help us get there. If we want to write our church a $10,000 check for tithing, if we make this much, that's going to help us get there. We're going to be able to give back more. We're going to be able to have those 20 new diamonds on our team if I hit that income goal. So all encompasses together. So I like to write that on my mirror. I know some people do sticky notes and they just put that crap everywhere, like triple diamond. And just like Ashley said, we have to be specific. If you just throw up like $20,000 a month, new home, blah, 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 something that's supposed to happen in 5 years, in 10 years, if, you know, you write down like, have my first baby, but you guys don't want to try for 5 years, like, don't put it on your dream board right now. Like, don't put it on your vision board right now, because that's not, it's kind of, for me, I feel like it's a distraction if it's something I don't want in the next 365 days, you know, like I'm not going to put a baby on my 2018 dream board because I don't want a baby this year. But like next year, we might try again and I'll put it then because I'm not working for that now. So do that. Be specific. I know like for me last year, my income goal, I think I would put like May or something like that. So be specific with it. So be specific with everything you put on there. And Aaron made a dream board and we were going to share one, but his kind of had like a lot of stuff going on. He put words and whatever. And I was like, I can't do that. For me, I have to have like a few big pictures, just like boom, like I need to be like laser focused, right? So anyways, so you guys, like, this is huge. So, sorry. Okay. So now this is what I want to talk about. When I was first recommended this book, it's called Think Like a Billionaire, Become a Billionaire. I was like, woo, kind of sounds like I'm, oh my gosh, what is the word? Materialistic, right? So some people might be like, you want to make $1 billion? Like, what are you going to even do with $1 billion? So I was recommended this book and I was like, this is probably going to be like a lot about money and a lot about mindset, because this whole business is mindset. So I started reading it and it was the exact opposite. It is some of you guys, I know maybe you don't even believe in God. Maybe you're not spiritual. Maybe you don't go to church. That's okay. But at the end of the day, there's something that you will get from this book that will make you feel good about these types of things. Because I know for me, I've questioned before, like, so what it talks about in this book, and I actually just have it on my phone. I have the book on my phone, and it kind of goes through in the beginning that sometimes as Christians, we feel like, maybe not even consciously, but subconsciously, we feel like, why do we need $1 billion? Like, we don't need that. Like, God wouldn't want us to have that. Like, that's too materialistic, things like that. But it goes a little over like mindset and breaking things down and tasks and whatever. But it talks a lot about the fact that like God wants us to live in abundance. He does. And this story, just a quick little story that he put in there, it just like gave me this light bulb. Because how many of you guys have kids? I have kids. I know some of you guys don't, but you might have dogs and stuff. Eliana. And when I read this, I was like, yes, like that's exactly what it is. So, okay, so I'm just going to read this. So it says, God takes pleasure in you enjoying some of the finer things in life. A few weeks ago, my son, Baylor, went with his grandma for their grandma time, and she took him to get a special present. Baylor came home with this big Batman toy, the same toy that he had already gotten just 2 days earlier. I asked him why he got another one, and he said, Lakin really liked mine, so I got this one for Lakin. Lakin is his brother. As a father, this act of kindness touched my heart. At that moment, I probably would have bought him anything his heart desired. A few days later, I took him out for a special day, and I bought him a present twice as big as the one he picked because of his heart. I believe when we have a heart like Baylor's, we inspire the same reaction with God. When Baylor delights himself in my wishes, I want to bless him. I want to pour so much in his cup that he can't even contain all the ice cream and all of the goodies. And that is how God is with us. When we delight ourselves in him, when we have the right attitude and the right heart, God says, okay, what are your desires? I'd love to give them to you. Here you go. And when I read that, I was like, light bulb. Like, for me, I know my kids, like when Emma is like super sweet to Ezra and wants to share and things like that, and is just, you know, in her really good, like heartfelt mood, I'm like, what do you want? Like, I'll give you all the ice cream. I'll give you all the candy. Like, let's go buy you a present. You know, like you just want to give them so much. And that just like touched me, because I was like, our God wants us to have an abundance if we're doing the right things with that abundance, you know, like, and he talks about too, like, how many Bibles can you send to Africa if you made $1 billion? A lot more than if you know, wanted to live, you know, I don't want to say mediocrely, but in a little house because you want to be humble and whatnot. So you don't want to make $1 billion because you want to be humble, but what can you do if you made $1 billion? Like, you could do crazy amount of things. So, okay, stupid computer. So I really, really, really loved that so much. And there was one more thing. Let me see here. Okay. So this is kind of about the vision too. I'll put the book in the comments in a minute, but I didn't screenshot the other part, but it says, you know, this is why we have desires. Why do you think we want certain things in life? They're fun. Big screens and plasma TVs are fun. So put pictures of things that you want. It says in your workbook, but I'm going to say on your vision board because he has a workbook at the end. God wants you to have that plasma TV. He wants you to have a house that glorifies him. He wants you to have the desires of your heart. The size of your vision will determine the size of your harvest. If you have a vision for a small company with a few employees, then that is what you will produce. That vision is in your heart. If you can't see it, then you won't reach it, because, Kitty, I'm going to kill you. And it actually has a scripture. It says, the lamp of the body in the eye, if therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in your darkness, how great is that darkness? What this scripture says is that what you see is what you get. If you can see it or envision it, you can have it. If a man can dream it, it will happen. Whatever a man has a vision for, he's able to do, no matter how many people tell him he can't. People said, man can't fly, only birds can fly. But a man had a vision and he found a way to fly. Everyone said that there was no way you could ever send a man to the moon, but a man with a vision made it happen. If you doubt that it can happen, then you are right. If you can see it happening, then you will do everything that you need to do in order to make it happen, and God will do the rest. I have a big vision. I want $1 billion so that I can give away $100 million a year all over the world. I want to be blessed so that I can bless others and build churches all over. And he just kind of goes on. But this was huge for me because I never really understood how to explain to you guys, like, literally physically envisioning stuff, and that did it perfectly. When we went to the so Mark Pentecost, we had a contest, I guess you could call it, for all ambassadors, and you could win or earn, I guess you could say, you could earn a trip to his island and to his ranch. Okay, our CEO did that. There's about 100 ambassadors. Okay, all you had to do was build as many rubies as you could from August to October. Okay, That's it. Build as many rubies as you could. Okay. I envisioned being on that freaking island. I was like, I'm going on that island. I'm going to make it happen. I don't care what I need to. I don't care who I need to help get to Ruby, how fast they need to get to Ruby. Like, I'm going to make it happen. Okay. And I know that there are other people that thought, man, it's been a year since I built a Ruby, so I'm not even going to try to go on this trip because I haven't built a Ruby in a year. So why would I be able to build a couple Rubies in 3 months? Do you know what the qualifications ended up being? I had 3 rubies, or 4. I had 4 rubies, but there was somebody there with 2 rubies. They only built 2 rubies. And we had to fly to Florida. They did the rest. They picked us up on a limo. They took us to the ranch. They fed us freaking the craziest gourmet meals. Like, they took us to the island on a helicopter. I rode a jet ski when I was pregnant for like 2 hours because guess what? We weren't paying for it. So they were like, keep going if you want. Like, it was crazy, but I envisioned it. And there were, 90 other people that didn't even think that they could do it. And it was only 2 rubies. Do you think if they would have known that it was only 2 rubies, they would have maybe worked harder? I feel like they probably would have. But I didn't care how I was going to get there. I was like, I'm going to freaking get there. And I was sweating when I had those rubies promote. I'm like, time is running out. Like, am I going to do it? But I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to freaking make it happen. And I made it happen. And that trip is the best trip you've ever been on in our lives. Like, literally in our lives. Mark and Cindy. So Mark is our CEO, and Cindy and his wife is his wife. And Pam and Mike, like, they have this astronomical vision for our company. Like, it's huge. And when you talk to them, like, you're going to do it. Like, I have no doubt about that they're going to hit beyond $1 billion. I have no doubt about that they're going to do exactly what they say they're going to do because, first of all, their hearts are good and they know that if you vision it, you'll make it happen. Cindy was telling us she didn't buy the island for herself. She bought the island so that they could bring the teams there, and that's exactly what they did. So God made it happen. And it's funny because Mark was telling us a story about how he bought the island, and I don't know if my numbers are right, but let's just say first it was like $100 million, okay? And they were like, I don't feel right about it. We're not ready. They ended up lowering the price to like $50 million. Well, because Mark and Cindy had cash, basically, they went in at a time that they felt right, and they offered like 20. And they took it, okay? And Cindy was like, God placed that in the exact right time at the exact right spot for us when it was right, because we want to just give it to you guys. We want to give it back to you guys. So have that vision, because the company has that vision. I have that vision. And when we have that vision and you create that vision, like, you will grow with us. And I say us because I'm like, I'm not being left behind. Like, they're going to $1 billion. Like, I'm going to get a percent of that. Like, I'm not being left behind. So you guys have to decide, because there is no difference between you and the other girl that you're seeing on this screen, or guy. There's no difference except for one of you will work harder than the other, because one of you has a vision and says, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. That's one thing that you will see millionaires, billionaires, CEOs, whatever. That's one thing that you'll always see them have: confidence. That's it. It's the confidence. You can fake it till you make it. You think when I started, I was like, oh, I know everything about the company, the compensation. No, I didn't. But I was excited, so I just shared that excitement. It's just like the story I told you in the beginning with, Amy. One of them was really not confident, and the other one was really confident. And that was really the difference, because one knew in her heart with that vision she was going to get there. So anyways, you guys, like, write down what you want, decide what you want, And like this year, like I can feel it. I've been talking to some of you guys and you're like, I can feel it. I can feel it. And I was talking to Ashley earlier and she was like, this girl, she is interested in the business and I have this fire in me and I'm so excited. And I'm like, yes, tell me that. Because when you tell me that, I get more fired up and then I want to tell somebody else that and everybody just passes it around. So that's also too why I want you guys to like share your excitement on the team page, because when you sign new people, they're going to be like, did I sign up with somebody that's excited, that knows what she's doing? Like, and they're going to be on the page and they're going to want to see that. So anyways, I'm going to write the book in the chat. I have it on iBooks on my phone. It's made it so much easier. One of my goals is to read every night, read a personal development and scriptures, because a lot of the times I've chosen one or the other, but like we can definitely have time to do both. And it's been so easy having it on my phone. Like there's no excuse. Really quick, like the last thing I want to share is that make the things that you want to do easier to do, and make the things that you shouldn't be doing harder to do. So I've said this before, but for example, we've been watching Grey's Anatomy. So what we do at nighttime is like, we put the kids to bed, we hang out, usually I work on my phone, and then we'll put on the TV until we go to bed, okay? That show has like taken over my brain, if I'm being honest. Like it totally has. It's a really freaking good show. But I'm like, that show is not going to do anything for my family, for my life, for my kids, whatever. And it's so good that a lot of the times I don't work on my phone like I would with another show. So something that we are going to do is it's so simple, but it's so funny. Like you put the remote somewhere else in the kitchen or somewhere in a drawer or even upstairs. Like how many of you guys don't want to go upstairs to go get a remote? You'd be like, let's just go to bed, which is kind of one of my goals, to go to bed earlier. And then, on the flip side, make it easier. So put your book on your phone. That makes it so much easier for me to read, okay? Because I always have my phone with me. For example, the gym. If you tell somebody else that you're going to go to the gym the next day and check in on Facebook or whatever it is, like, guess what? You're going to do it because they're going to hold you to it. I love sharing on Facebook, Instagram, the stories, whatever, what I'm doing every single day, and saying that like I'm working on getting my body back and whatever, because I know that like they're watching me, and if I just stop going to the gym, they're going to know, right? So I've made it harder for myself to not go to the gym because I'm telling everybody I'm working out all the time, So make things easier for yourself and make other things harder for yourself. That's kind of like what's always helped me too, like with just getting my goals done. But if you haven't made a vision board, make it. If you haven't written down your goals, like I have them written down in a notebook. I have them on a vision board. I have them on the bathroom mirror and things like that. But they're not wishes. They're not wishes. I know I have to work every day to make them happen, but man, it feels really freaking good. It feels really freaking good when you promote, when you have people on your team that are like, thank you for messaging me. Like, thanks for following up, because I would have never started this business and changed my life. Like, all those things are going to happen for every single one of you guys that just decides like, this is your year. This is your year. We had a really good year last year, but I'm going to make this year better than last year. Like, we're always trying to improve. So anyways.
I have another point.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for something along the lines with the accountability as well that you were talking about is talking to people that also have, a very, very strong and specific vision too. Whether it's like a sideline person, or maybe someone else on your team, or like on our collective team as a whole, like reach out to people and talk to them and make an accountability person. and someone that is actively like working towards their goals and they have a specific vision, that helps a ton with just keeping yourself accountable, and having them know like your goals and stuff like that, or maybe like a rank or amount, an amount that you want to do for your paycheck. That just helps so much with your making sure that you are staying accountable towards your vision. It's not necessarily having them like check up on you or like tell you what to do. It just helps you stay focused. And talking to, I know like something that I did too was like reach out to people that were higher in a rank than me, just because I know that they're successful and I know that they know what they're doing and they're not making excuses for themselves. They're doing the work and they're getting those, making their dreams happen, and they have a clear vision. And talking to people and surrounding yourself with people like that is really, really awesome for yourself too. Because you're like, I want to be like this person. I should talk to them and figure out like what their mindset is and how they're doing those things, because it helps you create your mindset as well to match, these successful people. So whether it's talking to Christy, obviously she knows what she's doing. Other, presidentials or triples on our team, those would be amazing people to reach out to and, just kind of for a couple of minutes, pick their brain and, like, how are you casting your vision? And, not necessarily like, you don't have to get nitty gritty with it, but just getting their advice on that, because they know what they're doing and they're not being distracted and making excuses. They have a clear and fast vision and they're going for it.
Yeah, I love that. I think too, like sometimes in the business, you get into like a mood where you're like, nah, like you're just kind of like distracted. And that's where those sideline friends come in, when you're like, it's not for complaining. I never complain. Like, I'm never like, Eliana, oh my gosh, like everything sucks. No, we talk and we ram each other up, like, because I know that I'm not going to be negative to her and I know that she's not going to be negative to me, but we build on each other's excitement, even if one of us is having a harder time than the other. And I actually had a girl, she is a triple or presidential, and she's not on my team, but she messaged me. She's like, hey, I hope it's okay, but like, I'm having a really hard time with this, and this. Like, would you mind giving me some tips and whatever? And so I just talked to her and whatever. And it fired me up to talk to her and give her tips, because it gave me more confidence in myself, because sometimes you see and you're like, oh my gosh, Eliana's like amazing. Like, she has so much time. She doesn't have kids. Like, she has all these beautiful beach pictures, and you're like, I can't do this. I don't have beach pictures, but that's not true. That's not true at all. Like, everybody has different lives. And when you guys are communicating with each other, you're going to build each other up and you're going to give each other that confidence. Like, when people ask me for tips, I'm like, yeah, like, of course I'll give you tips. Like, I'm awesome. You're awesome. We're both going to be awesome now, And then you see them at events and they're like, yeah, and it's just fun. Like, this business should be fun. It is fun. And you just kind of feed off of each other's excitement. But if somebody starts like being like a Debbie Downer, you kind of just got to walk away and be like, hey girl, I'm not going to be like filling your cup up 24/7. Like, I got other stuff to do, So anyways, but you guys, I am really excited for this year. Like, it's going to be amazing. I have very specific goals, and I hope that you guys do too, because I know that some of you guys are part of my goals, but I already know that you're ready for it. So let's make this a bomb year, and probably tomorrow I will go ahead and start a contest, because I just like to see you guys like shout yourself out. Like, if you guys message 20 people or sign a distributor, shout yourself out. Like, I want to know, other people want to know, like, people will look up to you, you will excite yourself, and you'll kind of jump, on each other's excitement. And then last thing, actually, don't forget about the app. The app is amazing. I know there's been some like weird stuff with sharing it. Don't share your link from there. Just put like your URL. So mine's Skinny Wrap It Up. And then you would put .. WTFitworks.com. And it's amazing because like, I'm like, hey, guess what? Like, we're not just health and wellness products. Like, we got meals and workouts. Like, we can't get any better. Well, we probably will because we always do. But that's something that's like huge for people. I had 3 people on my newsfeed that posted, does anybody have an app for workouts? I was like, you are like asking for me to message you. You're saying like, hey, Christy, like message me right now. So take advantage of it. I'm really mixing in the business with me on my own journey, and those encompass each other, because if I'm only posting about the business, people are going to be like, you're just a scam. You're just signing up a bunch of distributors. But when I'm like, hey, I have the best products in the world and we care about health and wellness and fitness also, and you can make a lot of money, then they're going to be like, that's amazing. And last thing, sorry, I know I have a million last things. New distributors only in January get the Fit 5 with their distributor package, okay? The Fit 5 has 5 orange greens. It's a sample package for them, which is like friggin' awesome. It's 5 orange greens, 5 berry greens. It's an extra wrap on top of their already 4. It's an entire cleanse, which is like, boom, right? And then I think there's like something else. I can't remember, but it's amazing. So they always put these things out because they're going to help you seal the deal. So all the distributors, the potentials that I'm talking to now, I'm like, hey girl, right now only. I don't say for all of January, because then they'll be like, I'll message you on January 31st, or I don't even know how many days are in January. But I'm like, hey girl, right now only, there's this crazy promotion. I know you've been wanting to do it, so you might as well right now, because you get this awesome sample package. And I sent a picture because I posted a few in the team page, and I sent the picture of it, and I'm like, you're going to get all of this and your $99 distributor kit. But more importantly, like, I'm going to help you make a lot of money. So, you know, so use those to your advantage, and it's only this month. Okay. Let me look at the chat really quick. Congratulations, Roberta. I don't know why I had to say it like that, but it was just, I am not sure about the Android stuff. Anytime I get updates, you guys, I always post them. I promise you. When I get new information, I try to be really on top of it for you guys. Ooh, yeah. So for conference, we get these awesome, really adorable, cute It Works bags. And I think we're supposed to get them maybe like 2 weeks before conference, so probably in 2 weeks, because we can use them on the way there. If you guys are new, you can actually get a discount coming to conference for your ticket. Even if you're new or not new, like, come to conference, it'll change your life, and ask your enroller about it. And then Talina, I'm not sure who your like diamond and up upline is. I tried to add all the diamonds to the WT Fit group, the one that corporate is actually running. So ask your diamond and up to add you to there, because I can't add you since we're not friends on Facebook, and that is the real one. No, Rebecca, they are not. They have to become commission qualified in January. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a really good night, and I will talk to you later, and I will post this recording, but I appreciate you guys being on live because it's just like so much better.